Today on Rappler, at least 500,000 liters of oil spill into Manila Bay. Two more whistleblowers surfaced to speak out against alleged pork barrel queen Janet Napoles.
BIFF, ang nagpapatakbo dyan, yung si Chief of Staff namin. Vice Chairman on Military Affairs na walang iba kundi si Sheikh Muhyiddin Animbak.
And the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters has a new military commander, Sheikh Muhyiddin Animbak.
Hello, I'm Natasha Gutierrez sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. At least 500,000 liters of oil spread to 12 coastal barangays in Rosario and Tanza, Cavite after an oil spill in Manila Bay. The Philippine Coast Guard says the source of the spill is still being investigated, but it adds oil from the affected barangays is, quote, identical to the oil inside tanker MV Makisig, commissioned by oil giant Petron to transport fuel. Dead fish float on the water and some residents fall ill from the fumes as the spill spreads across 20 kilometers off the coastline. PCG Environmental Protection Chief Commodore Joel Garcia says the owners of the tanker will be made to pay for the cleanup if it is proven that it caused the spill. Two more employees of Janet Lim Napoles are willing to speak about JLN Corporation, the company Napoles owns and allegedly used to pocket lawmakers' pork barrel. The two will join 6 others who already came forward. In a radio interview, the Whistleblowers Counsel Levito Baligod says they can share personal knowledge of the operations of foundations and the relation of Mrs. Napoles to these foundations. Baligod says 4 of the whistleblowers were former presidents of foundations they were ordered to create. He says 2 of these 4 had their names used in the incorporation papers without their knowledge. Napoles is accused of being the mastermind in a scam that uses fake non-government organizations to get lawmakers' pork barrel. The NBI is currently probing the scheme. Taiwan lifts its sanctions against the Philippines after Manila apologized for the fatal shooting of a Taiwanese fisherman. The move comes after Manila Economic and Cultural Office Chair Amadeo Perez offered an official apology on behalf of President Benigno Aquino. Tensions between the two countries rose after Philippine Coast Guard personnel shot 65-year-old Hung Shi-cheng in May after his vessel sailed into Philippine waters. Following the incident, Taiwan imposed a series of sanctions, including a ban on hiring new Filipino workers. Diplomatic tensions eased after Philippine investigators said they recommend homicide charges against 8 Coast Guard personnel for Hung's death. Despite an extended deadline, the Philippines fears it will not meet Saudi's cutoff date for undocumented workers to legalize their status or get repatriated. Del Rosario says he requested a meeting to discuss ways to speed up the processing of papers for undocumented overseas Filipino workers. Over 8,000 Filipinos need to have their papers processed before November 3. Filipinos who fail to meet the deadline face up to 2 years in prison and fines of at least 100,000 real or $27,000. On Monday, the Foreign Affairs Department says 1,557 Filipinos returned to the Philippines from Saudi. This is around 16% of the estimated 10,000 undocumented Filipinos seeking repatriation based on estimates by migrant workers group Migrante. Rappler's editor-at-large Marites Vito goes into the character of the outspoken reproductive health law critic in the Supreme Court. Here's her video blog.
It was one of the most heated exchanges I've witnessed in the Supreme Court, and it revealed the character of Justice Roberto Abad. In this week's oral arguments on the RH law, Abad looked down on his nemesis, Solicitor General Francis Hardaleza. Complete with PowerPoint slides, Abad tried to show that contraceptives kill the unborn. When Hardaleza disagreed, the justice laughed, as if mocking the counsel for government. Abad is the most vociferous anti-RH justice. In the court, he is known to be impulsive. One of his most famous outbursts was against then Junior Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. It had to do with the plagiarism scandal, when the decision penned by one justice was found to have lifted heavily from academic journals. Abad joined the majority in clearing the justice and railed against Sereno for her self-righteous dissent. This was unprecedented, and now, after facing a wall, because Hardaleza stood his ground, Abad dropped all pretenses of clinging to the law. He likened the advocates of the RH law to Hitler out to exterminate the poor. Abad said the law targets the poor because they're inconvenient to us. He may not have known it then, but at that moment, he stood by Francisco Tatad, who called the RH law genocide. And I thought the Supreme Court was all about upholding the law. This is Marites Vitug for Vitug Vlogs.
The breakaway Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters has a new military commander, Sheikh Muhyiddin Animbang. BIFF spokesman Abu Misri Mama says in a recent Rappler interview that BIFF's founding leader, Ameril Umrakato, is no longer directly in charge of BIFF operations.
BIFF, ang nagpapatakbo dyan, yung si Chief of Staff namin. Vice Chairman on Military Affairs na walang iba kundi si Sheikh Muhyiddin Animbang. Yun ang nagpapatakbo. Pero yung government namin, yung si Amiri ang nagpapatakbo.
Cato suffered a stroke last year. He is reportedly bedridden. Some say he's comatose. The BIFF broke away from the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, over serious disagreements on the MILF's peace talks with the Aquino administration, among other reasons. This week, bombs exploded in 3 different areas in Maguindanao and North Cotabato, where BIFF forces operate. The BIFF claims responsibility for a roadside bomb in Maguindanao on August 7 that wounded 7 army soldiers.
Yung sa nabundas, yun ang atin. Kasi sundalo ang tinamaan. Basta kung sundalo, pwede na kaming pagbintangan. Pero yung sa mga civilian, wala kami doon. Hindi pwede yun kasi bawal sa Islam ang mananakit ka sa mga civilian.
Mama admits the BIFF attacked the soldiers, but vehemently denies responsibility for the bombings that hit civilians. Cherry Alejandrino was a simple, hardworking elevator operator until social media catapulted her to instant fame. Carol Ramoran reports.
Cherry Alejandrino may seem like an ordinary elevator girl, but that's until she starts to talk.
We're now on 2nd floor, Ace Express and SM Appliance, men's accessories, Forex, customer service, KFC, Subway and barbecue. Going up! Ngunit wala pong sumakay.
With her bubbly personality and willingness to help shoppers, Cherry caught the attention of YouTube user Dave Pronto. Pronto uploaded a video of Cherry which got hundreds of thousands of views.
We're now on 4th floor, cinema and department store, kids section, snack bar and shawarma, home world, glazer, music, Belgians, waffles, Zagwa, play. Thank you, Mom, sir.
As her YouTube video went viral, so did her influence on netizens.
Yes, Mom, sir. What floor po? Yes, sir. Yes, and I'm going there also. Thank you.
She had always wanted to be a teacher, but her family could not afford to send her to college. Despite setbacks, Cherry says people should always be dedicated to their jobs.
Pag-welcome po sa tao is kumakagat po sa kanila eh. Kumbaga sinusuklian po nila ng thank you, o talaga, ganun ka, ganyan ka ba talaga? Opo, because I need and because I love my job. So tawa naman po sila ng tawa. Sa pagtawa pong nilang yon, nakakawala po ng pagod. Bilang, yes, yes, sir. What floor? Konti lang. Oh, yes, Mom, sir.
Shoppers find Cherry's sunny disposition infectious.
She's so polite and informative. And every floor she can tell you exactly what got. And I thought, gee, they really go overboard, but it's nice that, you know what I mean, I get used to it every time you see me. She's so friendly and,
On Tuesday, she was presented with a plaque of appreciation by the mall she works in. Cherry, despite instant fame, remains humble, thanking social media and the person who uploaded her video for recognizing a hardworking girl.
We're now on 5th floor, parking area. Thank you, Mom, sir. Thank you for coming, please. Come again to SM.
Carol Ramoran, Rappler Olongapo.
Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, the Daily Beast reports no Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula operative worries the United States more than Ibrahim al-Asiri. Quoting 2 U.S. counterterrorism officials, the online news site calls him the group's diabolically clever bomb maker. A chemistry dropout from Saudi Arabia, he is credited with building bombs that can escape sophisticated forms of screening. His early claim to fame was a suicide act in 2009 by his brother that nearly killed Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Nayef. U.S. officials believe al-Asiri succeeded in developing a bomb that can be surgically implanted inside the human body. At number 3, a U.S. Marine sergeant is demoted after pleading guilty to urinating on dead Taliban fighters in Afghanistan. The incident occurred in July 2011 during a counterinsurgency operation. In 2012, a video circulated showing 4 Marines urinating on 3 corpses. The incident increased tensions between the United States and Afghanistan. Sergeant Robert Richards is one of 8 Marines to be punished for the incident. The Marine Corps says Richards pleaded guilty at a court-martial session in North Carolina Wednesday. At number 9, CNN's chief medical correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta reverses his stand on marijuana. In an article posted August 9, Gupta reveals he has been working on a new documentary called Weed. For research, he interviewed medical leaders, patients, and marijuana growers, and reviewed scientific literature on medical marijuana. He concludes, "We have been terribly and systematically misled for nearly 70 years in the United States. I apologize for my own role in that." Gupta says recent research on marijuana focused consistently on its negative effects. And at number 10, 2 rare Sumatran tiger cubs are born Monday at the National Zoo in the United States. Zookeepers call it a conservation victory for the critically endangered cats. A webcam at the National Zoo site shows images of the cubs lounging and rolling in a den with their mom. There are less than 500 Sumatran tigers in the wild. The World Wildlife Fund says the only place where these tigers can be found in the wild is on Sumatra, Indonesia. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. The rover Curiosity celebrates its first anniversary on Mars on August 5. From its heart-pounding landing on Mars, Curiosity has made intriguing discoveries for the past 12 months. NASA says Curiosity sent back more than 190 gigabits of data and 70,000 images, collected and analyzed 2 rocks, and fired more than 75,000 lasers. All these during the course of its 1.6-kilometer drive. Back on Earth, scientists are busy studying Curiosity's data. NASA says it met its primary goal, to see if Mars has evidence of ancient environments where life could thrive. But the mission is not over yet. Curiosity is now on its way to the base of Mount Sharp to probe into the planet's past. Scientists say the sun's magnetic field is set to reverse in the next few months. This occurs when the sun's inner magnetic field reorganizes. The polar magnetic fields weaken to 0, then reappear, but now with opposite polarities. Solar physicist Todd Hoeksema says it looks like we're no more than 3 to 4 months away from a complete field reversal. This change will have ripple effects throughout the solar system. Scientists say it happens at the peak of a solar cycle, and the change usually happens every 11 years. The flip could also have some effect on Earth. Hoeksema says there might be fewer lightning strikes and less intense storms, but adds this link to a weather is, quote, pretty much a speculative endeavor at this point. Rappler, in partnership with Visayas State University, returns to Leyte to hold a forum dubbed #MoveLeyte, social media for environmental awareness and disaster preparedness. Zach Houston files this video blog.
We're here at Visayas State University, one of the country's top R&D institutions for Rappler and VSU's Move Leyte chat series. Faculty from the VSU earlier today talked about how climate change impacts upon low-lying agricultural communities. In fact, the university has established a regional climate change center to find ways to mitigate the risks brought about by extreme weather. While Rappler CEO Maria Ressa talked about how social media can be used as a tool for disaster preparedness and risk management.
In spite of all this wonderful, positive environmental state of the region, we have also the negative side. They say that Region 8 has one of the many disaster-prone areas. In the last 20 years, there have been 3 major disaster tragedies that happened in Leyte.
Journalists can now come together with technology and with you. The wisdom of crowds. When we come together in millions, we become extremely powerful, and this is where Rappler stands.
Leyte is no stranger to natural disasters. Some of the country's worst calamities occurred not far from here in Ormoc and Ginsaogon. But the chat series organizers hope that a better informed public will be the key to avoiding future disasters from occurring. Zach Yuson, Rappler, Bye Bye City, Leyte.
Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the Mood Navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most clicks. Let's look at today's Mood Navigator. The top story, the biggest circle, is still the same one from 3 days ago, how Janet Limnapolis got away. This still has 89% of people feeling angry and not much else. Over to the left, a green circle, a circle of a different color. Estrada to buses, not in my turf. 59% of readers feel happy about the story, while 21% of people feel amused. And over to the right, another red circle. My husband's lover bill, penalize same-sex adultery. This has 42% of people feeling angry, 15% of people feeling annoyed, and 21% of people feeling amused. The Mood Navigator looks pretty red today. All these stories contribute to the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Friday, August 9, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Natasha Gutierrez. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.